What's up? It's AK Babyface. Subscribe to Supporting Icons for the latest boxing news.
So I was pointed to a video where Deontay Wilder gave a brief interview about his plans for his training camp. Obviously, he's going to be fighting Dominic Breazeale on May the 28th at the Barclays. Now, within this one, and I'll put it in the description box for you guys to go have a watch for yourself, he's saying how he's always just done pad work and sparring. He's never done the speed bag, he's never done any kind of road work or anything like that, which is, to be honest, obvious. 11 years as a pro, he's got the skill set of an amateur. Well, in fact, some amateurs have a higher skill set than he does because he just relies on that big punch. And I think that fight with Tyson Fury has finally driven home the message: you need more than just a big punch. You can't keep relying on it because you're not always going to land it and you're not always going to keep your opponent down. Because as I've said for a long time, Deontay Wilder is a decision loss waiting to happen. All it takes is somebody who is focused and can box, and they will defeat Deontay Wilder 99 out of 100 times. It's not difficult to defeat Deontay Wilder, but so many people, as for example Luis Ortiz, he is a very good boxer. He's not the best of the best when it comes to skill, but he is pretty skillful, and he was doing a very good job on Wilder. Trouble is, when he got him hurt, he emptied his gas tank and went all amateur and started swinging for the fences, started going headhunting. Had he have taken a couple of seconds and thought about it, he'd have got Wilder out of there. Tyson Fury outboxed Deontay Wilder after sitting on the sofa for 2.5 years, went back in that ring in Wilder's own back garden and schooled him. But, especially in round number 12, Tyson Fury let his guard down. He got a bit too relaxed, got caught. Okay, had he stayed disciplined, he would be the WBC heavyweight champion of the world right now. Okay, personally, he defeated Deontay Wilder anyway, and quite clearly with Deontay Wilder's attitude, where he's now actually going to be saying that he's going to be learning to box for this fight with Dominic Breazeale. And he said that he's heard so many people saying that he's not skillful and he needs to do this, he needs to be a boxer. And he says, well, now I'm going to give it to you. Which is good in one point, of course, but in another way, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You just can't. He's been 11 years as a pro, and this has been his style right the way through it. And he has said that he's been getting away with it in the past. As I said to you guys before, as many of you guys have been saying, you fake it till you make it, and the reason that he's been getting away with it for so long is because of his level of opposition. It's been garbage, absolute garbage. He's avoided all the top names. Why? Because anybody with any kind of skill set is fit and mentally focused is going to do him each and every time. But can Wilder add some things to his arsenal? Because at the minute I said, yes, he does have a very good knockout percentage. Listen, if I fought half the fighters that he has fought, I would have a very good knockout percentage too. So, as he's getting up, people like Tony Bellew, who said that Deontay Wilder is technically the worst heavyweight champion in the history of boxing, or heavyweight. That has struck home with Wilder quite clearly. People who have been criticising him, saying that you can't box and your skill set is awful, has hit home with him. That fight with Luis Ortiz has hit home with him. That fight with Tyson Fury has certainly hit home with him. Now, is he going to add any kind of arsenal? Maybe. He can add some things. I mean, I was surprised when he says that he didn't do road work and things like that, because Wilder, one thing that you can say about him outside of that big right hand is that he is as fit as a racehorse. He's got exceptional amounts of stamina. He really does. He doesn't really seem to get tired until like the last couple of rounds, but most boxers get that anyway. Even some of the most fit boxers out there do get tired in the later rounds. That's just a natural thing. But for him to not do any kind of road work, I mean, listen, he didn't really have the ankles for it. He's too skinny. For a man of his height, he's too skinny. In fact, he said in this video, I think he said he's currently 220 odd pounds, 222 pounds. I think that's what he said, which is ridiculously light. That's too light for a heavyweight. too light, especially for somebody of his height. Okay, now, him against Dominic Breazeale, listen, it's a good opportunity for him to put on some kind of displays in this fight, because Dominic Breazeale, not very fast. He is quite slow. He is very heavy-handed, though, and he is a good boxer, but he's there to be hit. And after a while, with Wilder, he may start off being a little bit of a boxer in this one. And even against Tyson Fury, and some of you guys may remember in the post-fight review to that fight with Fury, I said that one thing I can give Wilder credit for in this fight was that for the first time, he was actually showing that he's got a pretty good jab on him. So he needs to utilise that a whole lot more if he wants to become a boxer with power. Because it's one thing doing it to Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz has some skill set, not the biggest puncher in the world, but had Luis Ortiz had kept his cool, he would have got Wilder out of there. With Tyson Fury, he had the skill set, but not the power. If he was to face someone like Anthony Joshua, who has the skill set and the power, he's in a whole lot of trouble. Not only would he get outboxed, he'll get his head taken off. So finally the message has hit home, and that's good for him. In all honesty, that is very, very good for him, because he needs it. At this stage of his career, with the walls closing in, and let's be honest, the walls are closing in now. The days of the cherry picking is pretty much over. There's so many fighters around now within the WBC rankings that could legitimately end him. But again, I think a lot of it is because Mark Breland, his other trainer outside of JD's, left the corner when he was fighting Tyson Fury, because he wasn't doing what he was asking him to do. He kept reverting, as Tony Bellew would say, to type. He wasn't throwing the jab as much as he could. But when he was doing it, he was doing very well. But as the fight was going on, he stopped doing it. Mark Breland was quite clearly getting very, very frustrated with him. And he left the corner. But again, there's so many factors in this one. If he was to adopt too much into the boxing, he may lose something else, which is what's made him so far unbeatable in some ways, is that if he's going to try something that's very orthodox rather than unorthodox, he's going to be easy to hit, because at the minute he can be quite difficult to hit. He's quite difficult to land on flush because of the way that he moves and he dances around, because sometimes he does things that he doesn't know that he's doing. So therefore, how can his opponent predict? But if he's going to be a predictable boxer, he's going to be a whole lot easier to hit. Now, of course, he could be saying all this just to try and get into the mind of Dominic Breazeale, that the Deontay Wilder that Dominic Breazeale is going to be training for is not the one that's going to be in the ring. So for the first time, we're going to see a different Deontay Wilder. And we may see some differences, but he will revert to type at some point in that fight. It's too late now. All the skills that he should have right now, he should have learned when he was an amateur. He should have learned in the early part of his career. But he just keeps reverting to what he is. Well, I've got a big right hand, I'm anointed by God, as he quite clearly says, so therefore, at some point, I'm going to land on you. As he says, you have to be perfect for 12 rounds, every second of every round. Whereas he only has to land that one punch, which takes 1-2 seconds. And as I said, he's been faking it till he's made it because of his level of opposition. He fought Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury wasn't at his sharpest. He fought Luis Ortiz when Luis Ortiz was failing the medical 1 hour before the ring walk. So he shouldn't have really been in that ring in some ways. But either way, he's been getting away with it. But now the walls are closing in. He's going to have to face Dominic Breazeale, for example, who does have power, but he does have some boxing skill to him. As I said, he is there to be hit, so you would certainly favour Wilder to land anyway, even if he didn't change anything about his game. But then, if he ends up facing Joshua, he's facing a boxer and a puncher. He faces Dillian Whyte, a boxer and a puncher. He could be ended very, very soon if he doesn't start adopting something. But is it too late? He's, 33, 34 years old now? In my opinion, it's too late. I honestly feel it's too late. What whatever it is that he hasn't learned, it's difficult for him to adopt and utilize in the ring. For me, he doesn't have the discipline to do that. But listen, maybe he's going to put on a boxing clinic. We've seen elements of it against Tyson Fury. He wasn't really landing, but as I said, with the jab, he was looking pretty good. So, in my opinion, work on that jab. Use it a hell of a lot more. Set up your right hand. Don't just swing for it. He's got that reputation as windmill for a reason, because he just wails his arms around. That's not good enough. At this level, it's not good enough. You've been getting away with it for 11 years. You're not going to get away with it for much longer. And I think he realizes that all the criticism hasn't always been just to criticize. People have been saying it because it's true, and he needs to accept that, which quite clearly he has. Or hopefully he has. As I said, he may just be saying this as a ploy to Dominic Breazeale to try and make him change up his training camp. Maybe. Anyway, you drop your thoughts below about it. Click thumbs up to this video, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.